Hello, everyone. Welcome to Eat, Sleep, List. My name is Matt Johnson, and today for Mirror List Monday, we are going to be discussing getting things done, making things happen, doing what we want to do, and seeing the things that we want to see before we kick the bucket. That is right. Today, we are making the bucket list. You only live once. It's a message and a quote that I've really been driving home for the last several weeks on this show because it's something that I don't take lightly. I really don't. I know that someday that my time will come to an end and I will no longer be here, at least physically. Spiritually remains to be seen. I don't know. But at least physically I will no longer be here. And as I get older, things don't come to me as necessarily easy as they once did, all right? Jumping from more than 6 inches off the ground hurts a lot more. Sometimes, easily irritable. Travel isn't necessarily the most comfortable thing for me sometimes. Things change, and usually sometimes not for the better, at least in the physical form. Or the physical sense. But when I get to that point where I can't necessarily do the things that I was once able to do, will I have questions? Will I have doubts? Will I have regrets? Will shoulda, woulda, coulda be on my mind the entire time? Man, I should have did this. Man, I could have did that. Man, I would have did this if. I don't want to be that. I don't want to have those thoughts on my mind as my life is coming to an end, all right, getting towards the end there. I don't want to think like that, all right? I don't want to take life for granted. I don't want to take every day that I wake up for granted. That is why I have a bucket list. I have a list of things that I want to do, want to experience, want to see, want to feel before I kick the bucket. And I think it's important for everybody to have this kind of foresight into their own future, all right, into their own life. Have it ready to go. Keep it on a piece of paper, fold it in your pocket, and have it ready to go, right? Think every move you make should be making towards accomplishing something on your bucket list, all right? That is why we're doing this video today, because I think a lot of people just exist. I know I just existed for a certain point for many years. All right. There's times where I remember just sitting in my room days on end, watching TV, playing video games, letting my mind rot. And I remember that I did that. But as far as memories that I can share with somebody someday, tell people about, those are lost times. Those are the dark ages in my own life. I'm a big wrestling fan. And a couple weeks ago, it was announced that a guy by the name of Lex Luger will be inducted into the pro wrestling, or excuse me, not the pro wrestling specifically, but the WWE Hall of Fame. And this guy, say what you will about his lifestyle choices and whatnot, he's been very open about it, and but he was called the total package. The guy was the real deal. He had the body of a Greek god, lived a relatively normal life. He ate like crazy, et cetera, et cetera. But one day, an accident happened while working out, and he couldn't move. And before he knew it, he became basically paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life. A guy who was, had a strict eating regimen and working out like a madman and got to tour the world, see the world as a professional wrestler. And then one day he couldn't anymore. He couldn't. And while he's used that feeling to be a positive influence in other people's lives, there's also that regret, that scariness that, hey, I can't go back and do these things anymore. All right. And life happens fast. All right. And nobody expects to end up the way that Lex Luger did. All right. Confined to a wheelchair and just not being able to live a normal life. That's why every single day that I wake up, I live. Some days are better than others, no doubt about it, but every day I'm working towards something. Every day I have something that when I wake up bright and early for my work alarm, that I have something to look forward to, that I have something that I'm working towards, that it's just more. It's just more than the cycle of life. It's more than this cycle of waking up and going to work, and that is my life. That is my day. It's a lot more to it than certainly that. This is just me speaking, but I don't know. To have something to look forward to is exciting. It's exhilarating. And then when it finally happens, when you finally accomplish this thing you're looking forward to, it feels really good. And I know, as somebody who has thought long and hard about a bucket list for many, many years, dating back to my high school days when as a kid, you shouldn't be really thinking about kicking the bucket or putting together a bucket list because there's so much life in front of you. But I'm grateful that I had the foresight to do it because there are many things that I have accomplished on previous iterations of my own bucket list. All right. Accomplishing my trip to Indianapolis, which I've talked about many times over, and breaking through the mental blocks that I put in front of me, the mental blocks that other people put in front of me, and going to see Indianapolis, going to be with my people, Colts fans, going to see a game inside Lucas Oil Stadium. All right, I did that. I accomplished that. That was no easy thing for me. It's not like I could just drive 40 minutes. No, I had to drive 9 hours and spend a buttload of money on hotels and tickets to go see my team in Indianapolis. Tell you, I was really excited when that happened. There's a picture of me hugging Lucas Oil Stadium the first day that we got to Indy in 2018, and I'm very proud of that. There was a point in time where marriage seemed like this is never going to happen. Heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. And I finally got married. That was a bucket list item for me. Being a dad, there was a very long period of time where I didn't think it was going to happen. And it was completely out of my control. But I didn't think it was going to happen. But I did it. And I'm a better man for it. And I'm so glad that I get to wear this hat that says dad on it. All right, very proud. My senior year in high school, my wrestling banquet, I wrote a speech at our banquet, and I said how I want to coach wrestling someday. And 8 years later, I would end up doing it. 7, 8 years later, I would end up doing it. Checking something off my bucket list. And then pro wrestling. All right, amongst many others, but pro wrestling is a big one because something I had dreamed about doing since I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. This art form that had been so integral. There, English. In my upbringing, that I was able to finally do it, and I did really cool things with it. Met some of the best people in my life, and also met some of the worst. But I had a lot of great life experiences through wrestling. But when things start to slow down for me, when my son gets older, these are things I can tell him about. All right. And if for some reason I, get to have grandkids, if that's the route he chooses, and I get to do that, these are awesome things that I accomplished that I can look back and tell that I did. And I'm very proud of each and every single one of these things. Very proud. I am leaving less and less room for regret in my life. I'm accepting what I cannot do, and I'm celebrating and proud of what I can do, and I'm working towards what I want to do. It's important to set up goals. It's important to be on track. It's important to have these things laid out in front of us, because if we're not, we're just simply existing. We're what kind of life is it when you're at the end and your life story, again, if it's up to you, but it's all work, no play. All right. Did you really enjoy things? Did you really enjoy your time here on this earth? I know that I can look back and say that I have. If something happened to me tomorrow, God forbid, and I lost my ability to be me, I could be proud at the things that I've tried, the things that I've dared to try, the things that I've done, the things that I've been. I could be very, very proud of that. And I hope you all watching, if you're making your list with me, if you're putting together, compiling a bucket list, that you realize this and you have the foresight to see this and you think about the life that you've lived and the life that you could live, the life that you want to live. It's very all important questions when encompassing, when putting together a list about the things you want to do before you kick the bucket. I think the main lesson I want everybody to take away from this list is to give yourself a reason to be excited in the morning. All right, when you wake up, or when you go to bed, right? When you go to bed, give yourself a reason to be excited to wake up the next morning. And you could do that with a bucket list or with lists, with goals to make, goals to have, things you want to accomplish, things you want to do and learn and whatnot. These things can be big. They can be small. They can be small things that lead to bigger things. But it's an aspect of life that is something to look forward to. All right. I was once told that you should always have a little project to work on. Always have a project, whether it's a home project, if it's a self-help project. Be a never-ending project. Work towards things. I always reference this trip to Indianapolis and how hard I worked to do it. I had to work on myself mentally to chop off all these blocks that I put in front of me and others put in front of me to go do it. I had to put away money, make plans to go see it, go do it. And I did it. And it was a plan. It was a step-by-step plan. It wasn't just cold turkey. Hey, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm just going to go to Indianapolis. No, it was a plan. There was goals to be achieved, and lessons to be learned, and things to be accomplished before I got to do it. Pro wrestling, I worked my tail off, and granted I wasn't great, but I was so happy that I had earned this opportunity. I got to be backstage for WWE. All right, I got this opportunity to be backstage as an extra for WWE. And in 2013, I got to be behind the scenes for a pay-per-view and two of the television shows. And these are things I could only have dreamed of when I was 4 or 5 years old. And now, I can look back and say that I worked towards this goal. I got to have the opportunity to be backstage amongst people that I looked up to, that I watched on television and thought were and thought so highly of. It's amazing experiences. All right, have these goals. I set these goals and go out and put the work to do them, and do them over time. All right. Every week I write this show, I have a set formula on how I do it. I have my editing days. All right, planning this a day to just edit, put these videos together, and get them ready to go on YouTube. Then I have the days where I plan for the next week. All right, I get to write out and discuss and blueprint what I want to do. What do I want to accomplish on the list this week? And then I get to make my top 10 lists. And it's so much fun that I have these step-by-step goals, these reasons to be excited every day. And this kind of thing excites me. It really, truly does. Set goals. Have a reason to look forward to waking up every day, and use every day, every opportunity that you have to work towards accomplishing those goals. Here it is, my current bucket list as it stands in 2025. Of course, I mentioned that I've already knocked off some things from that bucket list over the years. 18 years old, had a lot of things that I wanted to do and accomplish, and I'm very proud of the things that I've done so far. But in my experience, satisfaction is never really a thing, right? We do things and then we just cross them off, and I just add more to the list. That is what my life is all about. I want to maximize the potential of my life. I want to maximize the experiences and whatnot of my life. But here it is, my top 10 things that I want to accomplish, my top 10 bucket list items. My number 10, it's been a long time since I've been here, actually 10 years in April, but I want to go back to Disney World. All right, and that's not the bucket list item. Of course, I want to go back, but I want to build my own lightsaber in Disney World. All right, 2015 was the last year I went, and I don't even know if the Star Wars area, this big Star Wars area, was even a concept back then. It might have been a concept, but I certainly didn't know about it. I love watching videos of people going to this area, picking out their handles and their crystals and all that stuff and building their own lightsaber. Like, it's like the Mecca for the true Star Wars fan. I know so many people who have gone there and built their own lightsaber. I don't know how much it is. I'm sure, and I've heard it's kind of expensive, but it's just something I want to do. Money is replaceable, all right? And this opportunity to go build a lightsaber, it certainly seems right now that time is running out, right? I used to go every other year, basically. I've been 10 times in my life, but I haven't been in the last 10 years. That's insane. So hopefully sooner than later, and with my son in tow as well, that I will be able to build my own lightsaber at Disney World. Yeah, that's my number 10. Number 9, a bit of a thrill seeker. All right, I love exciting stuff. I love having unique life experiences. I want to go skydiving. Jump out of an airplane, strap me up to a parachute, whatever it is, and I want to go skydiving. I do. I had a friend when I lived in Rochester, and him and his wife took him, set up the opportunity to go skydiving, actually. And I thought that was the coolest thing, that his wife knew one of his bucket list items, and they went and did it together. I doubt I can convince my wife to go and jump out of an airplane, but I know at the very least that it's something that I want to do. I don't know how high the elevation is. I don't know how much it costs necessarily, but man, if I got a crack at jumping out of an airplane, going skydiving, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. That's just right up my alley. I think the first time I recognized that skydiving would be a really cool thing was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. It came out like 95, where all the Rangers were jumping out of an airplane with their different colored suits and parachutes and stuff on for some Angel Grove competition. And I was like, man, that looks cool. And that's been on my mind for a very, very long time. I do hope I get the opportunity to do it. So skydiving at number 9. Number 8, I was weighing this one and seeing a Super Bowl, but I feel like the one I'm selecting is a lot more worth my time and money. And I'm going to say to go see a WrestleMania. Super Bowls are very expensive, and there is minimal guarantee of a good athletic performance. There's been some doozies of Super Bowls. The first one that comes to my mind is the 2018-19 season Super Bowl with the Pats and the Rams, where it was like 13-3 the final score. If I had paid to go see that Super Bowl, I would have been pissed. WrestleMania is a lot better, and granted, they're two very different things. All right, we've talked about what wrestling is, but there's more of a guarantee for entertainment value. WWE has done a really good job in recent years of sending fans home happy. All right, making their show worth the price of admission. Just meeting this like obligation to be entertained. All right, the Super Bowl isn't like that. All right, would it be cool to be able to go? Yeah, I mean, sure, but I don't know. I've seen some doozies of Super Bowls lately. The halftime shows really don't do it for me, and you're really just paying for the name Super Bowl. That's what the value of the ticket is. They can have that. WrestleMania, a lot more affordable from what I can remember, from what I've gathered. I've known friends that have gone for a decent amount of money, probably a couple $100. And now it's a 2-night thing. I wouldn't even have to do 2 nights. I'd be happy with just 1 night, just to say, hey, I did it. I was a part of this celebration of professional wrestling, and that would be that's why it would be my number 8. Affordability, great entertainment, and just one of those things you got to say, hey, I did it. I seen it live. My number 7. I'm really not a meet a celebrity kind of person. More so, not a pay to meet a celebrity kind of person. But there is one person head and shoulders above everybody else that I would love to meet. And that is my guy, Phillip Rivers. Okay. Former quarterback for the Chargers. 1 year with my Colts. I just want to meet the guy. I really do. Like, shake his hand, have a conversation, take a picture just to say, hey, look I did this. I met a few football players in my day, in passing. It was what it was. I don't know if there's a financial limit for me being able to meet Phillip. Like, even if it's at a convention, he's going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame, I think soon, maybe next year. Even though I don't know if he's necessarily going to get in, I hope he does. But Eli Manning not getting in first bid is a little concerning as far as that in that regard. But I would love to. I would love to find a way. He's living a good life right now down in Alabama, coaching high school ball, and yeah. But I would love to. There's probably a certain cap, like, hit of money that I would or wouldn't pay to meet him, but I think it's one of those ones. It's a necessity. Maybe someday we could put together like a top 10 list of people I'd actually pay to go see, but off the top of my head, Phillip Rivers is the only one that I would really give a shot to. So we'll see. Hopefully I get that opportunity someday, because that dude has meant a lot to me as a football fan. Number 6. I love pinball. I think I've talked about it. Love a good pinball machine. If I see one somewhere, I got to stop, put some quarters in, and play a couple rounds. I would love to buy my own pinball machine. Find some kind of cool theme. Find some, some kind of specialized licensed property pinball machine, and just buy it and play it and have it at home for my own personal usage. I love all the fun lights and gadgets and just the whole aura of a pinball machine. I just love it. I've gotten some of the little cheap ones that are like $20, and there's really not a whole lot going on, obviously, for $20. But I want a legit pinball machine someday when I can afford it, and I want it in my home so I can just have it. Having a rough day? I'm going to go play some pinball. That's just me. All right, number 5. Said several times, I'm a big water guy. I love water. I love being around water. Love viewing it. Love listening to it. It's very peaceful. I'd love to go scuba diving, and specifically scuba diving in or around a shipwreck of some sorts. There's been a couple cruises where one of the excursions is the ability to go scuba diving. I just think it would be neat to go see a shipwreck or something underwater. There's just so much mystery down there. I love the allure of underwater. There's so much to see. Beautiful exotic fish and other sea creatures and whatnot. I want to be able to say that I did it. So hopefully someday, maybe next time I get to go on a cruise, scuba diving will be in the realm of possibility. We'll see. We will see. Number 4, I want to go legitimate camping. All right, whether at a campground or maybe some kind of wooded area. I don't know. My dad used to be able to do that all the time. Much different world back then when he was a kid than I have now. But I was very fortunate in regard, like my parents used to have like these backyard campouts. We had a decently sized backyard, and we set up a tent. We'd have a little bonfire before, and we'd set up air mattresses and just sleep in the backyard. And to me, that was one of the coolest experiences. But I want to legit go out and camp and do that sort of thing. My wife's family used to do it a bunch. They had a camper and whatnot, and I really hope that I get the chance to do that with my own son, and my wife, of course, too. But to be able to go camping, enjoy the outdoors. I love the outdoors. I want to. I feel like that's something that I'm actually shocked that I haven't had the chance to do yet. So. Hopefully someday soon, go camping. That is my number 4. Number 3, I like to write a book. As somebody who loves reading books, the idea of writing a book is very, very enticing. And I have to be honest, before I had the nerve to start this YouTube show and put my face on video, I did consider putting everything that I talk about, obviously in a lot more easier to read sense, a little bit more sensible way, and compiling it into a book and making it like a self-help / workbook kind of approach to it. And that's still not out of the realm of possibility. I think it could still happen, maybe taking a next step or whatnot. But to be able to say that I wrote a book and maybe even sold it, sold some copies or whatever, I think that'd be the coolest thing. And it doesn't even have to be just Eat, Sleep, Bliss pertainable. Growing up, middle school, high school, even elementary school, I used to have notebooks full of stories, putting myself in various fictional worlds and scenarios and just letting my imagination kind of run loose. And I think it'd be cool. I think I can maybe write a good kid's book, find something of the sort. I don't know about a lengthy novel, but I would like to write a book. I think maybe that's possible. We'll see. Number 2 is kind of not completely up to me, but I would love to have another child, and I would love to be a girl dad. Would love to have a daughter. Obviously, I can't be like, hey, honey, we're having a kid. She's got to make that decision herself too, and it's up to her. We're still reeling from the first one and enjoying our time with our little boy, but I do hope I get the opportunity to be a girl dad. I really do. Balance things out, right? I think it'd be good for me. I think it'd be really, really good for me. In my soul to be a girl dad. Very grateful that I had the son that I always wanted. Now I would like the daughter that I'd always wanted. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully someday. And number 1, this one is basically I can only go by what I have and what I want. But to take my only child right now, might take my son to a Colts game in Indianapolis. And I think it's very possible. It's very possible that this could happen. Someday, I love it to be a father-son trip, right? Something to look forward to once a year that we can have, that we can share. And as somebody who's had, as great of parents as I have, and, my dad's been there for a lot of things. Me and my dad have done football road trips. He's been with me to Indianapolis and Cleveland and New York. It's always kind of been it's been a big connection, big aspect of our relationship. I love to have that special thing with my son. And I don't know. Like, I'm warming up to football again. I am. It's taken me a little while, but I'm warming up to football. But I'd love to see it, his face, seeing Indianapolis and Lucas Oil Stadium for the first time. And I don't know. He's got to love football, of course, for it to happen. Well, that remains to be seen. I know this year, we enjoyed sitting together and watching it, but just to have that father-son road trip, it's important to me and something I definitely want to achieve. So there it is, though, everybody. That is it. That is my bucket list. What's yours? All right, feel free to share it in the comments. Feel free to email me at eatsleeplistpod@gmail.com. But put this thing together. Even if you don't want to share it, put this thing together and map it out and just start accomplishing stuff. Start setting these baby steps, these goals, and going to do the things in life that you've always wanted to do. Don't leave them just as dreams. Go and accomplish them. That is my best piece of advice I can give to you. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you as always. Till next time, do you even list?